tends to be about close to 9 to 12%, because long haul travel tends to be at a higher budget point than say an AirAsia customer would be focused on. So yeah, we do. We do a lot of online campaigns. I think that works quite effective in terms of digital marketing. And I'm a big believer. We spend probably one of the highest in terms of percentage of media buy on digital compared to any other Malaysian company. Dude in the red shirt.
Hi, I'm analyst. Sure, some question on Halloween. Okay. Any intentions to change names? People always confuse Asia and AsiaX, and I cannot understand why you must all stick together, even though Tony has some shares in AsiaX. Okay. Second question. What have you learned from crisis, oil crisis, when the touch 147 came down 30 plus? Now it's at 100 something. Okay, another lesson coming. What have you reflected for this round? Thanks.
Okay, that's a fairly good question. We didn't have a debate about that, and actually, AirAsia X is a corporate brand for a company. To the consumer, we are a single brand. It's the AirAsia brand. It's the same AirAsia.com. I'll be crazy to use another brand, because I tell you why. With long haul, right, a big percentage of our passengers fly through. 80% of our Australian passengers on AirAsia X, when they come to KL, as exciting as this hometown is for me, and I can tell you where all the exciting spots are, 80% of them are taking an onward flight to Penang, to go to Kinabalu, to Bangkok, to Singapore and all that. If we only did Airline X, doing point A, Australia to KL, Japan to KL, London to KL, we would only be getting 25 to 30% of the passengers, right? People come to AirAsia.com and buy AirAsia tickets. Why? When I go to London, you know how I sell? I don't sell come to Kuala Lumpur. I sell, number one, top 3 of the top 10 Condé Nast islands in the world: Langkawi, Bangkok, Bali, and Phuket. The cosmopolitan, pulsating cities for shopping and nightlife: Jakarta, Singapore, Bangkok, Kuala Lumpur, Manila, Macau, Hong Kong. The exotics, Angkor Wat, Borobudur, Banda Aceh, Kota Kinabalu, Mulu Caves in Sarawak. Those are the things I sell. And if I don't have that richness of the AirAsia network, can't fill up a plane. So that's why that branding is key. And so the consumer, if you're mistaken, then I've done a good job actually, because we're a single consumer brand. AirAsia X is just a corporate brand for shareholders and bankers and financiers. I'm not interested in having a brand just for the sake of having a brand. Oh, what have we learned from crisis? As I said, you can't plan it. It's about not about trying to anticipate it, because you cannot anticipate it. It's about just having an organization where information flows and you're nimble enough to react faster than the others. So let them worry about it and spin around in circles when the next volcano erupts or the next global financial crisis hits, because it will, right? But you be the first to move quick when that happens. So you got to set your organization up to be nimble. Your view.
Okay. What I want to say is, because I just took AirAsia back here, and they always treat us like, cheat us with all the cheap airways, and then after that we pay a lot for the food and all that. Is there any way to overcome that? For example, like food vending machines or some sort like that?
You want vending machines on the flight. Okay, thank you. I'll think about it.
Good evening. My name is Calvin.
Hi, Calvin.
You have over and over again emphasized on the flow of information within the company. So I'd like to know, how do you get the flow of your information, your thoughts, your goals, through down to the lowest level? I'm sure that there's a lot of people within AirAsia X. So, like again, Chinese whispers. You tell someone, he passes a message on, it gets corrupted in how do you get your message across all the way so everyone's on the same page?
It's a very good question. You've got to try multiple approaches. You can't do it one way, right? Firstly, I hate emails. My team members can tell you this. I really hate emails because people don't communicate effectively on emails, right? I want to get them speaking on the phone. I want to get them meeting in person. That's key. There's some things, yes, you have to distribute in terms of, okay, how did we perform in 2010 and want to share it with 1,000 people? Yes, I do send a note. But most importantly is then following up with the right, the people who are the nucleus in each team so that you've got that feedback process getting along. It's not about, communication is not a one-way thing. Don't focus on how do you get your message out. Just like companies today, as a brand, we can't say, this is our brand message and this is the message we want to get out. You can't control your message, right? It's about having that dialogue with your consumers as it is having your internal brand dialogue with your employees. So you've got to ask yourself, how are you having that dialogue? And it's a multiple approach thing. There are regular meetings that you have. Nothing beats face-to-face. I guarantee you this. Nothing beats face-to-face, right? You've got to have the sessions. You've got to spend time. Thursday I'm in Hong Kong. This Saturday I'm in Seoul with my team. And then Christchurch on the weekend. And then Singapore, and then Paris, and then Tianjin, right? That's my day. Right? That's my 2 weeks ahead of me. You've got to spend time, because otherwise, you can't rely on just emails floating around. Did I say I hate emails? I hate emails. Right? But the other thing is, use Facebook, use Twitter, and most of all, use parties. It's unbelievable the richness of information that happens when people feel loose and that's when you really know what's going down in your organization. So don't underestimate the strategic importance of having a good party. Make sure you choose your music well.
I think we have the final question. And
because he waved his hand. You didn't just put it up, he waved it.
Thank you so much. It's nice to be here actually. So aware actually being present of such a reputable person talking to us. My question goes straight because I'm just one person I also aspire to be CEO someday. The major thing I could see that is a secret behind Asia X is price control. That is all I could see. It's about price control, trying to get the interest of the customers and all blah blah blah. So what is strategy? Because I once worked for a company and I was a bit up. But the thing is, they say price control, and we try to what is strategy mean, basically, because we keep failing in this price control to make sure we win the heart of the customers. Thank you.
How do we control price? That's your question?
No, I'm talking about the strategy for you to achieve this price control, because you say this XYZ company is given at a particular rate. You're trying to bring your control, your price control down, so that you can be able to win the heart of the customers. So what is strategy in achieving this?
I can tell you 20 different things that we do. I can give you the 100 different things version that we do. I'm going to repeat myself as a broken record. It's the information that's flowing in the organization, and it's the openness. I'll give you one example. You want to talk about cost control? We can't, as leaders in the organization, have a monopoly on all the good ideas. We can't be the ones saying, okay, we're going to do this today, we're going to do this today, we're going to do this today. You've got to have an organization that's empowered to tell you all the new opportunities, right? As an organization, when people really believe you, right? We want to be the world's lowest unit cost operator, and we're passionate about it. These are the kinds of opportunities you'll get. A finance clerk told us, right, that hey, some of our invoices we can pay by credit cards, right? So why don't we do that instead of paying by the bank transfer? When you pay by the bank transfer, you pay a fee to the bank, right? With a credit card, we get a local credit card, we pay it, we collect points, right? And there's no fee involved, we collect points, and then we can compile those points and use it for travel to other destinations. So for example, if our next destination is Moscow, I need to travel there before the flights go, right? So I have to use another airline to fly. Right? And that's a fantastic cost-saving idea. That came from a finance clerk, right? Another guy said, you know what? Every time we load up water for the lavatory tanks in the plane, right? At the end of every flight, we have more than half full. So why do we always fill up the water tank to 100%? Why not just fill up 60%? And let's track and make sure that we never run out of water. Fantastic idea, because you know why? Has any of you, maybe in UKL people don't carry water on a pail, but have you ever tried carrying a pail of water? It's very heavy, right? Well, try carrying 500 kilos of water. It's very heavy. That's a lot of fuel that an airplane has to burn to physically transport that water, right? So when you shave off several hundred kilos of weight on a plane, that's how we achieve the world's lowest fuel efficiency. It's not one individual thing, but it's the tiny things that add up, right? And those tiny things can only add up if information is flowing, if people feel they're in an open culture, if they feel they're being listened to, and they feel valued enough to contribute. Because as a leader, if you're going to depend on your own self to be the only ones giving all the ideas, sorry, you can't, right? You have to harness the power of every single brain in the company to get going.
I think that's a valid I'm so sorry, but I believe every party has to end at some point in time. So I believe all of us agree that Azran was interesting, engaging, and inspiring. Don't we all agree?
Yeah.
Before we end, I believe the conclusion for tonight, if I can gather, is one takeaway word, which I believe is nimble. In the volatile markets of today, I think he has repeated time and time again, he can be outrageous, he can be crazy, but you have to have substance. And the second point is that I think he was humble, and he was honest, wasn't he? I mean, you can say that, AirAsia is amazing this, amazing that, but he also made mistakes. And what is important, back to the factor of being nimble, how you overcome that mistakes. That is what is important. Don't you all agree? Yes. Right. So, last but not least, I'd like to invite Syed Aiman Syed Jafar, our convener for Young Corporate Malaysia, to give a token of appreciation to Azran. Please. For spending time with us. This is for the books. And thank you for all of you in here. We appreciate so much your attendance, and we really hope that you keep supporting Young Corporate Malaysia. Thank you. Good night.
Yes. Go to the poster. But I already took one actually.